Herc, the move to Leeds is official. There's Weston McKennie, one-on-one with our Mark Ogden. He says it's a dream come true. He also said it's a perfect fit. Herc, you agree?
Playing in the Premier League for him, yeah, I agree it's a dream come true. Perfect fit. He's got the playing style to match the frantic pace that Jesse Marsch demands out of that team. I do think it's a good fit. A perfect fit remains to be seen. A lot of factors at play here.
Anything else stand out to you about the interview there with Mark?
Yeah, he was non-committal about the coach, about the future, whether it would be American or European or any of that for that matter. And also, not surprised that he said he doesn't watch football. I always find it interesting when footballers say they don't watch football.
How much of an upgrade is this for Weston McKennie? Goes from Juventus, where he was starting pretty much every game, at least since the start of the calendar year.
Yeah.
Now to the Premier League, but to a team that is, if not in, close to a relegation fight.
It's in a relegation fight. I mean, you're 15th place right now. I think 3 points outside of that relegation fight. Yeah, absolutely a relegation fight. If you think about it, 12 on, from like 12th on, which I believe is Crystal Palace, to 20th, they're all in that relegation zone. So it's a dangerous
step
place.
down? It's a step down?
Well, I don't think it can be much more of a step down from a team right now that's in financial trouble, that was docked 15 points, that's not going to be in Europe next season, and it's going to be on a fire cell with the majority of its players. I think it was a natural progression. If you can make it to the Premier League, you made it to the Premier League, but I don't think it's a step down at all.
Not at all.
No.
Okay.
No.
Leeds a step up then from Juventus. We're still in Europa League this year, Herc. This year, by the way. What does it mean for Jesse Marsch? He's now added another American to the mix. More pressure?
Yeah, man. I know we spoke about this narrative last week, Seb, but Jesse Marsch comes in mid-season for a very beloved Marcelo Bielsa, and one of the big first acquisitions was Brendan Aronson. Along with Brendan Aronson comes in Tyler Adams. And then while they're still struggling, because mind you, they've only won twice in the last, I believe, like 14 games, okay? He brings in Chris Armas, his buddy, and another American coach. So there's already this narrative building that the 49ers, the American ownership, Jesse Marsch, the American coach, brought in 2 of his players and another American coach. And then guess what? He's going to bring in another American over. This is one of those situations where now Jesse Marsch has no excuses. It's not midway through the campaign, and he's gotten a chance to really impact this roster, bringing in players and bringing in personnel that he thinks will give him the best fighting chance of staying up. So it really is a lot more pressure on Jesse Marsch, who not too long ago, like literally over a week ago, had to bat away rumors and reports that there was a revolt in his locker room, that there were certain players against him. So there's this narrative that he's losing points, not doing well, and now that he's losing their locker room while bringing in a more of an American presence, yes, the pressure is absolutely there.
Yeah. You played with or against Jesse Marsch?
Against.
Remind me. Okay. So you know his personality well. He seems like the type of guy to run towards the punch.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes Jesse Marsch great. I think that's very evident in the way his teams play and in the way he manages, right?
Yeah.
I think he might be running towards the punch a little too much here, but that's who Jesse Marsch is, right? It's almost like he's saying not only is an American going to come to the Premier League and succeed, he's going to do it with other Americans. He's going to spend this club's money on other Americans. The other guy that Leeds was linked to for this job was Unahi. Remember the number 8 that caught everybody's attention from Morocco at the World Cup? And he ends up going to Marseille for not a ton of money. So it seems like Weston McKennie was really chosen over some pretty good other options here by Jesse Marsch and Leeds. If that is the case, that's significant. But also, we have to assume American ownership is on board with this. They're not going to let Jesse Marsch do this and then fire him in a couple weeks, right? This is a vote of confidence. This has to be.
I don't know how much they'd be pulling the strings here. I think Jesse's got a vote of confidence in Weston. It's a loan. It's like 1.2 million euros, right? But if he plays in like 10 games and they avoid relegation, it triggers that buy clause of like 32 million euros. It's a purchase. There's almost 90 million euros on 3 American players for a team that at one point 2 years ago you thought was on the up under Marcelo Bielsa and is Jesse by no means has made people forget about Marcelo Bielsa, even though he did poorly towards the end and was let go. So this is one of those where I'm running into the punch, like you said.
Forget where they were 2 years ago. Right now, they're in this relegation fight, and the fans will lose their patience because eventually Leeds is a club that doesn't want to just be in a relegation fight, right? They want to be something else. And if these American guys come and it's either fighting for relegation or just barely above that, that's still going to lead to pressure on Jesse Marsch and his job there at Leeds United.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.